Hi students, welcome to VMR Logics. I'm Srilata from Admin Department. ఈ రోజు నేను మీ ముందుకు ఒక గుడ్ న్యూస్ తో వచ్చాను. అదేంటంటే గ్రూప్ 4 లైవ్ క్లాసెస్. ఇప్పటివరకు మీరు అన్ని రికార్డెడ్ వీడియోస్ విన్నారు. ఫస్ట్ టైం గ్రూప్ 4 లైవ్ క్లాసెస్ స్టార్ట్ చేస్తున్నామండి. మీరు ఎంత దూరంలో ఏ ప్రాంతంలో ఉన్నా కూడా ఇక్కడ దిల్సుఖ్ నగర్లో ఆఫ్లైన్లో జరిగే క్లాసెస్ మీ ఇంటి దగ్గర నుండే మీరు వినొచ్చు. యాక్చువల్గా ఈ కోర్స్ ప్రైస్ 5400 రూపీస్ అండి. ఇప్పటివరకు మనం లైవ్ క్లాసెస్ పైన ఎప్పుడూ ఆఫర్స్ ఇవ్వలేదు. ఫస్ట్ టైం మనం లైవ్ క్లాసెస్ పైన ఆఫర్స్ ఇస్తున్నాము. ఈ కోర్స్ ప్రైస్ జస్ట్ 2000 రూపీస్, 5 months వ్యాలిడిటీ. మీకు ఆఫర్ 9th March to 14th March వరకు అవైలబుల్గా ఉంటుంది. ఇదే కాకుండా మనం ఎస్ఐ కానిస్టేబుల్ లైవ్ క్లాసెస్ కూడా స్టార్ట్ చేస్తున్నాము. ఇందులో మీకు రికార్డెడ్ వీడియోస్, ఆల్రెడీ లైవ్ క్లాసెస్ జరిగిన ఆ లైవ్ క్లాసెస్ అండ్ ఇప్పుడు ప్రజెంట్ ఇక్కడ జరుగుతున్న లైవ్ క్లాసెస్ కూడా మీకు ఈ కోర్స్లో యాడ్ అవుతాయి. ఈ కోర్స్ ప్రైస్ జస్ట్ 999 రూపీస్, 3 months వ్యాలిడిటీ ఉంటుంది. ఆఫర్ 9th March to 14th March వరకు అవైలబుల్ ఉంటుంది. థ్యాంక్ యూ.
Hello my dear students, welcome all of you. Guys, in this lecture we are going to discuss about a new topic that is nothing but fundamental duties. We are going to discuss about fundamental duties. See guys, in the last lecture we have concluded DPSPs, Directive Principles of State Policy. So before that we completed fundamental rights, so we have dealt very exhaustively, very clearly about fundamental rights and DPSPs. See, these fundamental rights and DPSPs together constitute conscience of the constitution, that is conscience of the constitution. That means, so if anyone who understands these fundamental rights and DPSPs, they can come to understand what is the expectations of our constitution. And moreover, so whatever the things we discussed at the preamble is also can be understood very clearly once if we complete through the fundamental rights and DPSPs. And the another small important and newly added topic, that is nothing but fundamental duties in our Indian constitution. Fundamental duties in our Indian constitution. So what is this fundamental duties, etc. So what is this fundamental duties and why do we require these fundamental duties is a point of context. Okay, why do we require these fundamental duties? So fundamental duties. So fundamental duties, why do we require these duties? Aren't or else isn't our constitution mentioned about the duties? So everything we need to focus. See, basically there are few countries which will be keeping more emphasis on the rights of the citizens. అంటే కొన్ని కంట్రీస్ ఉంటాయి, వాళ్ళు ఎప్పుడు కూడా పీపుల్ యొక్క రైట్స్ గురించి ఎక్కువగా ఎంఫసిస్ చేస్తారు. అంటే పీపుల్కి ఏమేమి హక్కులు ఉంటాయి, పీపుల్ ఏమేమి డిమాండ్ చేయొచ్చు అని చెప్పి. అండ్ దెర్ ఆర్ ఫ్యూ కంట్రీస్ విచ్ కీప్ మోర్ ఎంఫసిస్ ఆన్ ద డ్యూటీస్. అంటే ఎస్, రైట్స్ విల్ బి దేర్ టు ద సిటిజన్స్. అపార్ట్ ఫ్రమ్ దేర్, సో పీపుల్ షుడ్ ఆల్సో బి అవేర్ ఆఫ్ ద డ్యూటీస్. Rights is important. It's not that rights are not important. Rights is important. But apart from that, these duties are also very much important. So that is what it is speaking about. Rights and duties. Okay. For suppose if you see, most of the democratic countries in the world. So prapanchamloni prajaswamya deshalu. So democratic countries, they will be keeping more emphasis on the rights than on the duties. They will be thinking that once the citizen become aware of the rights, he will automatically be also be getting aware about the duties. He will also be utilizing his rights and he will also do responsible duties. That is what the democratic countries will be keeping in mind. So rights are emphasized more on the by the democratic countries, whereas duties, so duties are emphasized more in the communist countries. So that means China, Russia, North Korea, Cuba, so Czechoslovakia, this kind of things. So communist countries, they are keeping more emphasis, so communist countries, they are keeping more emphasis on the duties. For suppose citizens should be should give respect to the constitution. Citizens should not turn against the government. Might think, see, citizens should definitely respect the president, citizens should respect the ideals, whatever the rules and regulations the government is going to keep. So of course, the kind of duties are there in the other countries also, but I'm saying more stress. So rights are more stressed in the democratic countries, duties are more stressed in the communist countries. Mostly, see, in most of the democratic countries, they are particularly concerned about the rights. They don't even bother about the duties. As I told you, they will be thinking that duties are a kind of automatical effect. So Japan is the only democratic country which is having a kind of list of duties. Other than Japan, apart from Japan, India is the only democratic country which is clearly laid down, so which has clearly laid down the list of duties, what citizens has to do. So what are the duties of the citizens, etc. Okay, so Japan is the first democratic country to have the list of duties, and than Japan, after Japan, so India is the next country. Moreover, whatever the duties that is prescribed by India is more exhaustive than the Japan, more elaborative than the Japan. For suppose, see, fundamental rights. See, fundamental rights we have taken from the US Constitution. Compared to the US Constitution, the fundamental rights of India are even more clearly described. So, India taken fundamental rights from US, so fundamental duties from the USSR. So, but before India, Japan is having that, but we didn't borrow that from Japan, but we have borrowed that from the USSR, okay, Soviet Socialist Russia. So, India has taken fundamental duties from the country which is nothing but USSR. Okay, so before India, Japan is the only democratic country which has clearly laid down certain duties for the citizens. So the next point is, why is it compulsory? Why is it needed? So why did we added this fundamental duties? See, basically people are very active with respect to enjoyment of the rights, but people are not much active when they are thinking on when they are enjoying their duties, or else when they are discharging their duties. So people are more active while enjoying the rights, but people are not much active while discharging the duties. For suppose, see, if a person is there, he is very much active. For suppose if anything is going wrong in the society, he is very much vocal about that. So the government is not doing this, the government is not doing this, so multiple times. So he is using his freedom of speech and expression, and most of the times he is criticizing the government. Sometimes a person who knows very clearly about the rights he has in the constitution, so he is even questioning the other people also. But at the same time, the person is not fulfilling his duty. So then it is said that so people should not only get aware about the rights, people should also aware about the duties. I'll just tell you guys. For suppose there is a person who is always speaking about the traffic violations. So traffic police are stopping my vehicle, or people's citizens vehicles at a sudden point of time, and they are checking, they are asking or forcing to pay the challans. It is not compulsory to pay the challans, and moreover traffic people itself are not following the rules. There are many people who are not following the rules. Many people are exceeding the speed. So this should not be a cause of concern. So this has to be a cause of concern. So this has to be taken care. Likewise, a person is speaking very actively about the wrongdoings in the traffic. Suddenly a person tried to check his traffic challan. So on the same person's name, there is around 20,000 rupees challan on the same person. Means the person is very active in questioning the government, but the person himself is not following the rules. That means, yes, he is having right, he is questioning, fine, but he is not discharging his duties. For suppose, see, if a person is there, so basically whenever we want to go for a protest, whenever we want to go for a strike, etc., yes, we can strike. I told you very clearly in the article 19 that hartal is only a fundamental right, but strike is not a fundamental right. Okay, so what does it says? For suppose you are having freedom of speech and expression, so in an expression the people are going to assemble, and for suppose all of them, they'll just put a fire on the RTC bus. It is a government property. So one side they are protesting, protesting is a fundamental right. But on the other side, they are forgetting that this property is not belonging to the government's personal property. So even this property belongs to the people's property. So they are forgetting their duty, but they are exercising their right in a very perfect manner. Same like in the above case. The person is questioning everybody, but the person himself is not following the traffic rules. There are around 100 challans on his car name or on his bike name, which is a pending of 20,000 rupees. So that means you can clearly understand. So that is why, see, in the same protest also, as I told you, during the emergency days, that is for suppose in the 1975, so after Allahabad High Court declared the elections of the Indira Gandhi is unconstitutional, she has to get down from the Prime Minister. So that is what's held by the Allahabad High Court. So after that, there is a lot of protest all over the country. Everywhere the public property has been fired, put for a fire by the people. Everybody are damaging the public property. But here, people should understand that. So if, for suppose if there are 1,000 buses which are getting burnt or getting damaged by the people, so how the government will compensate that loss? The government will increase the rates of the RTC. Again, that will be burden for the people itself. For suppose, see, if you look at the Agnipath incident, so when a central government has bought a something called as Agnipath or Agniveers, so the people who are going to get selected in that. So, but most of the people, army aspirants, they didn't like that. So they went to the Secunderabad railway station, they have put it fire. So most of the railway got damaged. So if anything happens to the railway property, that is not a loss to the government, but it is ultimate loss to the people itself. They will just repair that bogie and they will be keeping that for the public use. Again, that will be inconvenience to the people. For suppose if the damage of, for suppose 100 trains, so from where the government will be getting incurring that cost or compensating that loss. So government will again increase the rates. Again, that will be burdensome for the people. So that means, yes, people are enjoying the rights, but people are not discharging their duties properly. It is their duty to protect public property. It is their duty not to create inconvenience to other people. It is their duty to respect the national flag. For suppose if anything is going to happen, any wrongdoing is happening, people are definitely, some people in way of protesting, or else while protesting they are damaging the national flag. They are damaging the institutions of the constitution. For suppose the people will be gathering in front of the Raj Bhavan and they will be creating some nuisance over there. So that means people should understand. So the constitutional institutions are there. For suppose the Supreme Court, High Court, Chief Minister's Office, Raj Bhavan, Rashtrapati Bhavan, etc. So institutions. So we have to respect national flag, national anthem, institutions. So yes, you are getting angry, but the angry should not create inconvenience to other people. So in this manner, government wanted to, so Indira Gandhi government wanted to make the people aware of the duties apart from enjoying the rights. So we are already having a chapter named as fundamental rights in part 3, but we do not have any chapter on the fundamental duties. So if I clearly explain about the duties, then at least some people will try to follow that. Not all the people, but at least some people will follow that. Because some people might not know what is their duty, what they have to do. For suppose, see, I'll just tell you, if you go to a hotel, so in the hotel it was written as a self-service. If the self-service is not written, so then the people will be sitting on the chairs and they will be expecting the waiter to come and take the order. If the same self-service is written on the boards, then the person will understand, okay, it is my duty to go to the particular place and I have to order or take the token, then I will get the food. Okay, fine, taking the food, you just brought the plate and sitting over there and eating. So for suppose if everybody is eating and keeping the plates over there, it is difficult. Generally, we don't place the plates in the dustbin. So we will be placing the plates on the table itself and we will be leaving, cleaning the hands and paying the amount. That is the general procedure. If the same thing is written on the walls, please keep your plates in the dustbin. If that was written on the boards, then the people who are eating over there, they'll understand that, okay, so we have to place these plates in the dustbin. Or for suppose if they go to a tea shop, if they are having a tea, the cups will be there. So people will be leaving it over there. But if you write the same thing on the boards, so then people will start throwing that, these cups in the dustbin. So that means you are marketing the duty. you are marketing, means you are advertising what the people have to do. Please keep your plates in the dustbin, please keep your empty cups in the dustbin. Then people will see that, and they will take this as their duty to place that in the dustbin. They will definitely follow that. If the same thing is not written on the boards, then there will be confusion, they might not keep that. So if you are expecting people, see, some people will by self-consciousness, so they will directly keep things in the dustbin. But some people might not have awareness of that, some people might not have experience of that, so they'll just eat it and they'll just keep the plates over there. So see here, the topic is not about eating in the hotel or taking tea in the hotel, but the topic is about duty. I just explained you. So if the same thing is written on the board, you'll definitely follow. For suppose there is a big shopping mall, generally people tend to directly go to the shopping mall. Fine. If there is a small small shop, so not so big, not so small, but average. So for suppose there also people directly enter by wearing the slippers. But if you keep the same board outside on the entry, so that please leave your footwear. When you look at that board, definitely you will leave your footwear and you will go into the shop. Because that is win-win for shop and for the customer. Because the shop person need not tell to every customer, please leave your slippers alone. Because if he says every time, that will, the peace of mind of the owner gets disturbed and the customers will also get disturbed. Instead, if the owner just keep a board, please leave your footwear outside. So customer looking at that, he will be leaving the footwear and he will be going there, utilizing the services, and he will be coming back. So that means generally, if I would have not placed that board, please leave your footwear, then definitely customer would have went inside the shop, generally by wearing the slipper. So the thing is that the duty might be the common thing, but people should be aware. So people should be reminded about their duty. So in that manner, the constitutional makers, that is in the year 1975, the government wanted to make the people to clearly understand what is their duty. So that is why, so that is the intention of the government. Yes, so see, for suppose in the society, there are very many educated people will be there in the society. They will be behaving, see, not only educated, but they are more, traditional, or there are more people who are giving very respect to the traditions or respect to the society, etc. So they do everything in a disciplined manner. But all the people might not do that in a disciplined manner. For suppose spitting. So for suppose, see, whenever the person is going on the road, so the person will be opening the car door and he will be spitting and he will be closing the door. How ridiculous is that? Okay, so it's not that educated or uneducated. If the people know you should not open the door while driving, you should not spit on the roads while driving, if I keep a board, then definitely it will be a question mark to the people. So for suppose if I start taking actions on them, there is no spitting on the roads. That means it is a basic duty of the citizen to keep the surroundings neat and tidy. It's not that I'm not asking you to eat pan or gutka. You can eat, that is nothing wrong. But spit on the spittoons, but do not spit on the open places. That is a basic duty. If the people give an awareness about that, then definitely there is a change in mindset. So in the same manner, so if I directly say, see, same like rights, you should also have certain responsibilities. But what is that responsibilities? Like, see, some people will be having this thing in mind as a responsibility. Some people will be having different things in their mind. So in that place, if I give a list of duties, what you have to do, what is your responsibility, then people will read that, people will understand that, that will be win-win situation, that is positive for the government and positive for the people. That is why, so in the year 1975, that is why in the year 1975 through 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act, in the year 1975 through 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act, a new chapter got added, that is nothing but fundamental duties. A new chapter got added, that is nothing but fundamental duties. So this fundamental duties is not there in the constitution since beginning. So that is added in 1976 through 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. So these were added in a new part, that is part 4A of the Indian Constitution. So part 4A, a new chapter got added, that is fundamental duties. Part A, 4A and Article 51A. Part 4A, Article 51A deals with the fundamental duties. Initially, see, I am just writing it over here. Initially there are 10 fundamental duties. Initially there were 10 fundamental duties, but later on, so 11th fundamental duty got added. Later on, 11th fundamental duty got added. So this 11th fundamental duty got added in 2002 through 86th Constitutional Amendment Act. We will be discussing that. What is this 11th fundamental duty, etc. Okay. So the question can be asked, since beginning, how many fundamental duties are there? 10. At present, how many fundamental duties are there? 11. So total how many fundamental duties are there? Whatever it may be, 11 fundamental duties. So the newly added fundamental duty, so when did it got added? In the year 2002. Through which Amendment Act? 86th Constitutional Amendment Act. All the fundamental rights duties got added in which year? 1976. Through which Amendment Act? 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. So they are present in which part of the Indian Constitution? Part 4A. Which article of the Indian Constitution? 51A. So they have been taken from which constitution? USSR. Okay now. So before that, which democratic country is having a list of fundamental duties? Is Japan. India is the second democratic country to have the list of fundamental duties. Okay, so why? So under whose prime ministership the fundamental duties got added? Under the prime ministership of Indira Gandhi. So now, so this is what I would like to explain you. So first of all, so the topic is fundamental duties. So why did this got added in the constitution? You have to understand. That is, people should have an awareness why these fundamental duties are there. What these fundamental duties is all about. Everything we need to understand. So that is why. This fundamental duty I just explained you with various examples. So what are the fundamental duties, etc. Okay.